Oftentimes, employees are faced with situations where they're unable to continue performing, say, the full scope of their job duties and responsibilities, or they need some type of request. For example, you may have an employee who suffered a broken leg, as a result of which the employee can work in the workplace, but their desk is situated in such a way that they can't elevate their leg and still reach their computer keyboard. They may request a simple accommodation of having, for example, their computer moved to an open table rather than having to sit at their desk. Something like that certainly would be considered a reasonable accommodation. The question becomes whether any other types of requests are considered reasonable. What's reasonable to the employer and what's reasonable to the employee certainly differ from time to time, but oftentimes things can be done to bring the two together in a way that you can find a workable solution for both the employee and the employer. Of course, the employer is not required to go out and expend significant resources in order to accommodate an employee, and other factors always have to be taken into consideration, such as treatment of other employees as well. For example, if an employee requested to work from home due to a disability, but the company had a strict no work from home policy, would it be reasonable or unreasonable for that employee to be given this particular accommodation is certainly a gray area. However, depending on the work circumstances, the work environment, the work location, how long the commute is, whether the work could be performed from home, for example, those are all factors that need to be considered by the employer in determining what's reasonable. These are the kinds of things courts look at in deciding whether, say, for example, a claim for failure to provide a reasonable accommodation is actually a viable claim, or whether the employer acted in a justified way and for business needs, as opposed to for any kind of disability discrimination motive in denying such an accommodation.